Hey, we live? We're live. Evening, everyone. Evening. Welcome back to Greedfall. Gonna jump right back in where we left off last time. We have a couple of side quests, and then advancing the main plot all the farther. Erica, if you recall, I'm assuming you're either listening or somewhere in there. Do you recall who to go to or where to go to next for the last companion? Which of these quests to do first? I don't remember. I was probably going to do the one that is like searching the ruins, whatever that was, first. That was next on the docket after side quests. But if one of them is going to get me a companion, then I might just do that one next instead. Was it the Bridge Alliance one, maybe? Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. A nice, relaxing break. If you had time off like I did, then that's fantastic. That's wonderful. Hopefully it was a nice time. We had spent some time with family, and kids had some fun and all that. The usual good stuff for holidays. Eat a good deal, of course. Um, Hopefully also, as of last Wednesday, you guys caught my most recent new video. The one I was talking about on the stream Monday, as I was working on it. That came out last Wednesday, so hopefully you guys had a chance to catch that. I had a great time making it, and hopefully you guys had a great time watching. And perhaps even learned a thing or two. Maybe. Yeah, I was going to do this one next, I think. And then probably Petrus's side quest. The exploration-y things, I just gotta keep an eye out for. Just keep forgetting that exists. Anyway, it's either the demoniacal cult, Scholars in the Expedition, or Mystery of the Ancient Ruins. I was probably going to do the Mystery in the Ancient Ruins next. Unless there was some reason to do otherwise, which I won't rule out. But I'm gonna do this one right now. I will bring Petrus, and I'll bring Petrus and Siora. I like the two of them. Then again, maybe I shouldn't bring Siora. Maybe I should bring Kurt. Because it is in Bridge territory, and she's not the biggest fan of them. And vice versa. Yeah, I'll bring these. That'll be fine. Let's travel. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Kevin. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. How's it going? What did you think of the most recent video? The one on sophists and sophistry, and those two yahoos from that one big thing in the news lately. No, I don't have anything worth selling, I don't think. So no, we're good. I'm just gonna we'll do this next, like I said. Like I said, hopefully that was a good video. I am hoping and planning to work on. Okay, it's right there. I'm hoping and planning to work on recording my next couple of weeks worth of class lectures as well. On this book. Anselm, his philosophical dialogue, specifically the third one on the Fall of the Devil. I've talked about this before. Kevin's killing zombies and buzzed. Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Oh my gosh, I think you'll like it. It does have a bit to do, as I said, with certain major news events right now. So you have that chance. I'll put a link in the description. I should have had it already, but in case anybody is watching this after the fact and wants to find it in the description, you can. In addition, like I said, I'm planning, or at least hopefully, on recording my next my next few classes, where we're going to be discussing on the Fall of the Devil. And so I have a couple of recorded lectures from a previous class. Oh gosh, excuse me, where we discussed the previous dialogue. That is on freedom of choice. In addition, I have one video that is about On the Fall of the Devil, but it's also a little bit about Star Wars, and I found that was I think that was a pretty good one. Looking at how George Lucas envisioned the idea of Force ghosts and the difference between Jedi and Sith, and then how that plays into St. Anselm's ideas of Satan falling, which I think was quite brilliant.
The food has been destroyed.
Well,
they clearly don't need it, which means that their camp should be close by.
Okay. That isn't to say I think my work was particularly brilliant. I think it was an interesting insight that I gleaned. But no, what I mean by that, sorry, is that I think that George Lucas's formulation of the dangers of the Sith and the evil of the Sith was actually quite brilliant in the original, in his original version of it, which of course has been somewhat subverted as of late. With the brilliant exception, I should say, of at least one of the Star Wars Visions shorts, or short films, or whatever you want to call them, episodes. The Elder. If you haven't seen Star Wars Visions, it's a mix. I have mixed recommendations, very, very mixed recommendations. Some of them are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Some of them are bad, just very bad, and some of them are okay. They're okay. The ones I really, really highly recommend are The Elder, which really explores the depths and depravity of Sith philosophy, as well as the Village Bride was very good, and the Eighth Jedi, I think it was called, the Nth Jedi, whatever the number was, those three were very, very good. Those are my highest recommendations of the series.
The crates are empty. Their entire contents have been destroyed. These goods were not meant to reach their destination.
Skip the twins if you're watching the series. Skip the twins unless you want just wildly over-the-top mega anime and want to have a laugh at it. Ironically, made by the same studio that made The Elder, which was very, very calm, very slow-paced by contrast.
They must have died protecting their goods.
Yeah.
How sad. These wounds appear to be caused by stone blades. The kind of weapons that islanders use. They acted quickly, methodically, and then left. But where are the bodies? Let's look around.
Just gonna let that guy sleep, huh? Anyway, like I said, I think a lot of I think that On the Fall of the Devil has a lot of brilliant insights in it, and that was the point that I made using Star Wars as an example was just one of the many, many points that are made, I think, brilliantly in there. And so hopefully hopefully looking at it in a more classroomy type setting rather than through the lens of Star Wars will sort of draw our attention to some of those, what I think are absolutely brilliant insights. All of this is, of course, both weather permitting and technology permitting, because I'm planning on having class outside for the next couple of weeks. Once again, continuing to do that because it's been fantastic out, and everyone's been greatly enjoying it. And I'm planning on recording it using a rather complex setup, hoping that it works. So we'll see how it goes. I will know by the end of this week whether it's going to work out. Erica says, you don't level because you don't fight creatures. Hey, well, it has skull over it. It's dangerous. Also, I don't want to kill the poor sleepy baby. Captain says, Sith philosophy is largely depraved, but I think contains qualities that are legitimate. Like what? What are you thinking of? What do you have in mind? Because I think you might be right. Yeah, let's do that. It heals armor. That's always good. Talents. Erica, what do I do? Erica, what do I do? Give me advice. Give me advice. Advise me. What do I pick? Vigor? What do I do? I have charisma all the way. Should I do lockpicking? Yes, like you said. There's no need to kill it. Searching the area. There's a deer. See, I'm not gonna kill that. Lockpicking doesn't... Okay, intuition's the other one. Okay, I'll do that. Alright, I'll do intuition then. Sounds good. For dialogue options, I take it. Ah, I see that already. Things are glowing a good deal more. Very nice. Look at that. Look at that. If you're not seeing it, then yeah, you can see the glow over lootable things a whole lot more. Fantastic. So I'm searching the area. Bears.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
To my health, and to the others! Move away, things are about to get dicey!
May the shadow engulf our enemy.
Why was this man's body arranged like that? There's something in his pocket.
Once you get Petrus as your ally, you get lockpicking totem for your outfit, and then have 2 if he's in your party. Really? Wait, Petrus gives lockpicking? I thought he gave charisma. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take your word for all of that. I'm assuming you're right. And I have the lockpicking item thingamabobber. So. My dear, I'm afraid this trip will be my last. We were very cautious. We even ate cold food every night because lighting the fire was too dangerous. And yet, I feel as if we were being observed, and I'm afraid they might attack us from one moment to...
He was in the caravan, but whoever attacked him decided to drag him here and feed him to the wild beasts.
The classic method to inspire terror in the hearts of enemies.
That's not nice. Kevin says individualism for one. Acknowledgement of natural order, although it's improperly applied. I wouldn't say that the Sith... I think I might take the opposite on the latter point. The former, individualism, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. That the Sith are far more than the Jedi, willing to account for the importance of the individual. That goes for the self, obviously, but that also goes for other individuals. Jedi have a big problem with the greater good and all that kind of stuff. Hi there, sir or madam.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
To my help, and death to the others! Move away, things are about to get dicey!
A patrol. We're close to the target.
Will do. Ooh. Chamber of the Serpent. Nice. Can I wield it yet? No, I can't. So I do think that maybe is true. Although I think that I would say that that's more of a fault in the Jedi than it is a benefit a benefit for the Sith. I will say it is. So if we're going with purely symbolic reasoning, purely on the basis of light side and dark side, as analogous for chaos and order in the kind of symbolic sense.
Protect me in this battle.
To my help.
Um,
Death to the others.
then I think that's largely correct.
Move away. Things
Just
are
more
about to
straightforwardly,
get dicey.
that that the dark, the more chaotic element, the element of chaos, rather than order, is more concerned with the individual rather than the collective, more concerned with freedom rather than harmony, that sort of thing. But I think that the Sith in particular twist that, by their very nature, to, rather than individualism, selfishness. Rather than considering the importance of individuals,
I need a bit of practice.
they consider the importance of themselves, the individual. And I think that's more of a problem than it is a benefit with Sith philosophy.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
To my help. And death to the others.
It was easy enough. Now, that said, the other point I think you're... well, hold on. Let's see. Let's see, because you got more to say. Okay, I mean natural order as it applies to compatibility. So I'll address that, I think, as well. The Sith acknowledge, Kevin says, the Sith acknowledge hierarchy, a hierarchy of capability, strong and weak, but they apply it without knowledge of the duty of power. Yes, I think that is correct, at least insofar as they misapply it. They certainly miss the duty of power, obviously. And they do, to a degree, accept a hierarchy of capability, or a hierarchy of proficiency or strength or whatever, capability.
Finally, here's the camp of the rebel
competence.
natives.
Let's be diplomatic and talk to them, my child. Violence should only be used as a last resort.
Wow, that's big of you. I agree. Really should have brought Siora on this, shouldn't I? Oh well, it's too late now. But I will say that I think that they have... Okay, so the Sith do have a kind of respect for hierarchies of competence or hierarchies of capability. But they're also constantly attempting to subvert that hierarchy by overthrowing the more competent, the more powerful in the hierarchy. The whole point of the rule of two is to strive to be better than one's master. The point of the apprentice is to strive to be better than one's master and to overcome them. But in practice, that will always wind up being the apprentice almost necessarily undermining the master through trickery. And usually through finding a new apprentice, a secret apprentice, who then becomes the apprentice. And so the rule of two, which was supposed to be a constant gain of more and more power, competence, and knowledge by the apprentice overcoming the master over and over and over again, became a diminution, a reduction of knowledge over the years. Because in most cases, the master would not pass on all of their secrets before they were killed by the apprentice, and so knowledge was lost rather than gained.
Hello, don't worry. I come in peace. I only wish
though?
to speak to your leader.
You did just kill a bunch of
I am
people.
the leader of this camp, Renaikse. And whom might you be?
My name is Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
The congregation. Are those the Lugaid Blau? The yellow eyes?
It's possible, yes. We live in the city south of the island.
That's right. We hold no grudge against your people. Talk. I'm listening.
I've come to speak to you about your attacks against all those who take the road to Hickman.
The Lions only got what they deserve. They have captured many of our people. We must release them.
That's the price of war. If you fight, you risk men being taken prisoner.
I'm not talking about warriors, Renaikse, but villagers kidnapped in our villages. They mainly attack on Olmenawe, those carrying the mark of the bond like you. They capture them, and we never see them again. We don't know what they are doing to them, but we are going to release them.
I see. But our merchants have no role in this. They are not warriors. So why kill them?
They brought food and weapons back to our enemies. We could not let them pass. If your merchants had fled, we would not have pursued them. But they resisted, so they died. The city of Lions is no longer to receive food or weapons. Nothing.
Listen, if what you told me is true, I fully understand why you're fighting. I'm even ready to help you clear up these disappearances, as long as you spare our merchants.
You no longer need to worry about it. That was our last attack. Our troops are ready, and soon we will make the Lion pay for the harm it has brought upon us.
What are you talking about?
Soon, the Donea Extraga will march together, and we will free our brothers.
Okay. Good luck.
Can you guarantee that our merchants will now be
Good
able
luck.
to take this road without risking
I have
their
no problem with
lives?
this.
I always keep to my word. The time for small attacks is over. Now is the time of war.
I'm afraid you're heading straight into a massacre. But since you promised me that our caravans will be spared, I have fulfilled my mission.
Go in peace. We should prepare ourselves.
Okay, good luck, guys. I have no problem with them attacking the Bridge Alliance, like, at all. None. In fact, I would almost support them. Ooh, pretty water. Kevin says, well, not necessarily. If you look at the examples of both Bane superseding the entire Sith Order and Palpatine superseding Plagueis in both strength and cunning, it's possible to remain faithful to the intention of the rule. I think that those are the good examples. But you also see examples like Plagueis, where he did not learn from Tenebris. Or even Zana didn't really learn from Bane. She went her own direction. And so did Plagueis, went his own direction from Tenebris. The Sith, most of the examples we see, even in the Rule of Two, they wind up going in a very different direction from their masters and not learning all there is to learn. And so knowledge gets lost. Probably a great deal of it. If we look at how the Sith were in the Old Republic era, the sort of the pre-Bane Old Republic. Oh, I could have just hopped down there. Probably. Oh well, it's fine. The pre-Rusan Old Republic. If we look at how the Sith were, their knowledge and their power was far and above what it was during the Rule of Two. And that includes Palpatine. And that also even includes Greats One Sith and all that.
They are so full of hatred for the Alliance.
You've heard what their leader said. They will do anything to free their... And if they are actually ready for a pitched battle, there will be piles of corpses.
I have to admit that the story of this attack is concerning. We should talk to Captain Rainhild about it. We can also inform him that the convoys will now be running smoothly.
Where's Captain Rainhild? Oh, back there. That's far, but okay. Let's go. Oh, hi, Critter.
Protect me in this battle.
To my help! And death to the others!
May the shadow engulf our enemies.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
Okay.
Green blood, my friend.
Oh, what? No, sorry,
You
Kurt.
need something?
No, you're good. No,
I
you're
must
good.
leave you.
I meant to take this guy's... I meant to skin this beast. Instead, I talk to my friend. You ever do that? Talk to your buddy instead of skinning a creature? Yeah, that happens all the time. Anyway. Yeah, I do think that that the part of the rule of two is perhaps good in intention, at least in part. But there is this problem. There's a significant problem, I would say, with respect to its application because of simply because of how it has to play out, based on its ideals, based on its goals, and based on its implementation. It's not like it fails because the individual Sith make it fail. It fails because of who the Sith are as a philosophy, as a religion, whatever. And what they are striving to do with respect to the rule of two. Kevin says, Zana learned knowledge that her master wasn't able to grasp, so the power was different, but not necessarily lesser. Oh, no, I don't think it was lesser. I think that Zana was definitively more powerful than Bane, ultimately. I mean, obviously she won. But that it was different insofar as there were things that Bane knew that she did not learn because she prioritized overcoming him. Hey, trader. I want to sell things. Can I? Or no? I guess I can't. Okay, never mind. Kevin continues, it's arguable that power which is less commonly attainable is more advantageous. That's probably true. Probably. But then Xana's knowledge wasn't fully passed on either, etc., etc., etc. So at best, it's a wash, or it's a growth in sort of obscure, changing directions rather than a constant march forward, which was Bane's original intention. I think that's the big problem with the rule of two, at least.
What can I do for you?
Let's see.
I managed to trace the rebels who attacked the caravans. They will no longer be a problem.
You eliminated them.
No, that's not necessary. But you must know that this group is part of a much bigger army. An army that is ready to go to war against Hikmet.
We have been at war with the rebels for a long time.
They did not speak of skirmishes, but of a pitched battle. They want to free their imprisoned comrades and will stop at nothing to do so.
This is terrible news. We must prepare the troops immediately. I'll send a message to Governor Buran. Thank you for warning us, Your Excellency. You've given us a chance to resist their assault. I know it's not much, but I hope you'll accept this as a token of gratitude.
Thank you, Captain.
Well, okay then. Do I need to go back to Hikmet for anything? I don't think so. Pretty, but that's it. That's all its use. Now I'm gonna go here. Not that quest, but right. No. That. Petrus's thing. You to camp. Actually, wait. Where's the closest camp? It's in the city, isn't it? Darn. Yeah, it's in the city. Okay, well, fine. Go to my house in the city. Anyway, so, to the other point, though, acknowledgement of natural order, there's another element of this. In addition to the point I was making already about the Sith, their constant attempt to subvert natural order by overcoming, rather than by naturally surpassing. That is, I think, only half of what I would say is their subversion of natural order, and their imposition of artificial order, rather than obedience to natural order. And part of this as well, I think, is that the Sith represent the dark side, which is chaotic, which is by nature chaotic. And because it's by nature chaotic, what that means is that they're necessarily going to be either subverting natural order or trying to impose their own order upon an already ordered world. Right? It's the margin. It's the philosophy of the margin attacking the center, which is why the original Star Wars trilogy had a sort of inverted symbolism to it, inverted symbology to it, because it has the dark side being the totalitarians, which is weird, different, and symbolically strange. Jonathan Pajot's talked about this somewhat. See if I can find it. Find where he talks about this. Put it in a video, maybe. But in any case, right? I think part of why we see such a subversion or perversion of the natural order with the Sith is not just because they're fighting each other, but because they are fundamentally trying to impose their will upon reality. They're not conforming themselves to the way that things are and working within that. They are trying to impose their will upon reality. It is the primal sin, or the primeval sin. It's Satan's sin. It is the fall. It's the fall of the devil, to quote. At least how, as Anselm understands the fall of the devil, it is the action of placing one's own will before God and trying to be like God, as Satan was said to do and as Satan tempted Adam and Eve with, and all of that, by taking onto oneself or attempting to take onto oneself the power of sovereignty. And that's where we see a kind of attempting to be like God, trying to replace God as one's utmost concern, as one's ontos on, the fundamental basis of reality. It's autotheism. It's pride.
Have you considered my proposition?
Yeah, let's do it.
Very well. Let's go and discover what the governor would rather keep hidden from the world.
Excellent.
How would you like to go about this?
We must search her apartments in St. Matthias. They'll be guarded, of course. But if we are discreet, that shouldn't be a problem.
This is taking quite a risk. The congregation's reputation could suffer if we're caught, and my cousin's position would be weakened.
I know. But keep in mind that I know the palace extremely well. And if we want to be sure to pass without being noticed, we need only dress ourselves up as servants.
That would improve our chances. Well, let's do it.
Let's bring Vasco for this, yeah? That seems right. Kevin says, lol, I rabbit-holed this quite a bit because I love the Sith stories, but as to the Sith's possible rational qualities, even though they tend to be the controlling of the material galaxy, their ethos is... and then he'll continue. Sorry about that. Yeah, with Vasco. Let's bring Vasco. And let's travel to San Mateus. All the way over here. God, that's far. It's far. Their ethos is one that has an underlying goal of service to an immaterial purpose. The Sith have service to an immaterial purpose? That seems almost the opposite. By almost the opposite, I mean the opposite. I can sell this. Obsidian Saber of the Serpent. Siora, that might actually be better. Yes, it is. Okay. No. Kevin says that being an order which they see as being subverted by the Jedi. I would say that that's maybe true for certain Sith factions. That's probably true for example, for the one Sith, right? Crate's one Sith. I would say that that's certainly the case. But I don't think that that's the case for most members of the Sith Order sort of throughout history. Most of the variations on the Sith Order. That's cool. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I do think, as I said, I think that is true in some cases. But by and large, I don't quite think so. They are, historically speaking, first of all, their own order. But primarily their own order is as a reaction to the Jedi. They are the Sith as an order always evolve from some version of Dark Jedi, from rebels who fought against the Jedi, rather than them being their own original initial thing. Okay? So I think that is... It's here, right? It's not. I'm completely wrong. Is it up here? No, I'm just completely wrong. Okay. But like I said, especially if you look at Old Republic era stuff, that it is really a kind of, they are fundamentally subversive. Oh wait, I need to put on congregation clothes. It says, what I've noticed in the parallel with the Sith ideas of what is this? Mother Cardinal. Oh, there's a quest. She has a quest here. Let's go do that first. Kevin says, what I notice is in parallel with the Sith idea of natural order is the traditional Catholic idea that people have a status in life, and that it is excessive to try and live beyond one's state. Yeah, but I think that also just comes from being a relatively ascetic order. That they are, the Sith in general are largely ascetic. They're not extravagant, typically.
Your Excellency, the Enlightened
So I think
must
that...
have sent you. I would like to ask a favor of you.
Oh?
I'm listening.
As you may be aware, we suspected this island might be the one St. Lucius wrote about.
Did you?
We did, but let me explain. This island was where St. Matthias lived at the end of his life, and where he founded a perfect community. Some time ago, we created a village which we called Eden, following his example. We chose this place as it seemed to be the closest to the one described in the Holy Scriptures. It is a home to a community of converted islanders, accompanied and guided in their budding faith by our theologians. As you can imagine, it is of the utmost importance to us, all the more so because we discovered some tablets there which were engraved by our founder.
An extraordinary discovery that confirms your suspicions.
I see you understand. Alas, these tablets were stolen, probably by the islanders who still reject our influence. I know that you are generally well accepted by the natives. That is why I was hoping that you could help us to retrieve what belongs to us.
I suppose I could go to Eden and try and retrieve them.
Okay.
Marvelous. The leader of the community, Father Justinius, will be able to answer your questions. May the Enlightened assist you in this holy quest, Your Excellency.
All right, then. No, I want to do this one right now. So let's see. But yeah, I do think that the Jedi accept that as well to a degree, but primarily insofar as they are that the Jedi acknowledge first and foremost that not everyone is meant to be a Jedi. Like, their religion per se is not expansionary. It's not about conversion. They are a way for themselves to live. That's all that the Jedi Code is. And so their station in life is this monastic retreat from the world, and this, to be fair, kind of an imposition of order and all that. But it's an imposition of again, at least what they understand to be natural order. So that is, I think, even more so in line with the idea of the appropriateness of one's station in life in different vocations for different people. That especially. Kevin says, well, extravagance could be manifested in the pursuit of things beyond one's ability, which could cause disorder by the natural effect of not committing to one's orderly state. And I think that problem describes the Sith quite well. That they are constantly grasping. Grasping is kind of fundamental to what it is to be a Sith. It is, I think, the constant state of what Thomas Aquinas described as the sin of curiosity. It is the pursuit of knowledge beyond what is beneficial. Not the pursuit of knowledge for the sake of knowing, just for the sake of knowing the truth, but for the sake of knowledge as a diversion or as power. Both of which are an aberration of the search for knowledge per se, which is directed at intimacy with truth, let's say. Now, I'm not as well read, or at least not as well read recently on Thomas's writings on the sin of curiosity. Should be, maybe. I feel like I'm prone to it. So maybe I should go into this a little bit more, if nothing else, as a sort of examination of conscience. Perhaps that's actually something for me to look into. So I will. In any case, I think that dogged pursuit of instrumental goods purely for their own sake, power most notably, is the primal sin, and it's the primal sin of the Sith as well. Note from a servant, Your Eminence, we reorganized the basement room as you ordered. Damage caused by Your Excellence's guests was substantial, and we regretfully had to replace the carpets, which had been heavily stained. I hope you will find new carpets to your taste. I made sure the key to the room is on your desk as usual. Well, well, well. On your desk, huh? Interesting. Where? Where's her desk? This isn't it. This is a mess. I'm a little lost. It's downstairs, huh? Okay. Where's the key? That's neat. There's a lot of native artifacts in here. Where's that key? Supposed to be on the desk. No, I guess not. So we'll just go downstairs then. Anyway, one of the things I was saying that I didn't get into enough, I don't think, was that... Oh, here's the desk. No? I guess not. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, here we go. Kevin says, I guess the only possibility of redemption of the Sith is if their pursuit of power is properly natural to the individuals who engage in the pursuit of increased ability to which they are suited. I think that part of the problem there is that that would make them Jedi. Because that is what Jedi do, is they pursue power. But that power is, at least ostensibly, if we're to, follow the Jedi code and all that, which again is never perfectly followed, but, that's how things work. But that...
This area of the palace is forbidden to visitors. By my order of the Mother Cardinal.
We did not know. Please excuse us.
The basements are for servants only.
Very well. We'll go back up.
Okay. Comfortable vest. Well, this is gonna be a pain. I don't have any of those. I'm gonna have to go buy them. But yeah, the ideal, right, as put forward by the Jedi Code, would be this, yes, the pursuit of power and the pursuit of knowledge and all of that, but it's for the sake of one's place in the universe, right, of doing what one ought to do. Protection, peace, harmony, all of that. And the Jedi are, first and foremost, about the maintaining harmony in things, keeping things, serving the will of the Force, which we can just reinterpret as, and we can read that as something like the will of the Force being the nature of reality, acting in accordance with the way things are and the way things ought to be. The Sith, by contrast, do almost the opposite, right? Their whole philosophy is about imposing their own will upon the nature of reality. And so it winds up being fundamentally subversive of... There's no shop around here, is there? Let's do that. How do we do this?
Come closer.
Oh, here we go.
Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to have a rummage around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
There.
Goodbye.
We're all comfy
Maybe
looking.
the enlightened always keep...
Still are fancy with capes and stuff, but it's fine. Anyway, I think that the biggest thing that the biggest argument that I would make that the Sith are not primarily about they are fundamentally opposed to the natural order of things is this point that they primarily seek to impose their own will upon the reality. They take the Force and they shape it to their will, rather than following the will of the Force as the Jedi would do. And they're very upfront about it, too. It's not like they think that this is the will of the Force and that's not, or that they think that, oh, the Jedi just manipulate the Force to their will too. No, like most Sith that you hear also disparage the Jedi for following the will of the Force rather than imposing their own will. They have a kind of Nietzschean outlook of a will to power kind of thing. Yeah, Kevin, I think this is a great discussion. I love Star Wars. I love the philosophy of it, the philosophy behind it all.
This is a very unique place. The smell of stupor and vice reign as its masters.
You're not wrong. We should search this place. It seems that someone forgot their earring.
Ugh, here is an object of more than questionable taste. A woman from a good family would never wear it. It's junk. The kind of thing a courtesan would wear.
I didn't know you were an expert on the subject, Father.
The subject of jewelry?
No, of courtesans.
That's funny. Yeah, this definitely looks like a, how do I put this in a nice, family-friendly way? The only way I can think of to put this in a family-friendly way is, collective bedchamber, let's say. Kevin says, well, to be fair, the Force is an energy field created by living things as opposed to the willful creative power. Yeah, well, I mean, kind of. I take created by all living things as a kind of collective subconscious, maybe, something like that, collective unconscious. That which undergirds and unites life. It's almost a kind of life force, or life itself, right? The nature of life, what it is to be alive. That said, you kind of have to, if you're going to be metaphysically serious about things, you have to take it a step back and say, what's behind that? What is behind the Force? If the Force has a will, then it must be in some sense personal, or it is the emanation from, or the creation of something personal. If there is a will to it, if there is an end to it. Follow Aquinas' fifth way, right? The Thomistic teleological argument, and you get to a god of the Star Wars universe. Right, Erica?
For goodness sake, this room reeks of alcohol.
And not just any old alcohol, if my nose does not deceive me. Cornelia always had great taste when it came to drinking. We are here at the heart of human depravity. Outrageous luxury, excessively priced alcohol, obvious debauchery.
Surely this is enough to incriminate the Mother Cardinal.
No, my child. These things are common in certain circles, even in Thélème, unfortunately. Cornelia may well have organized these things for others. These parties might be of use in gaining some political fame. We must find out who is involved and learn more.
The earring that we found may help us with that. We could ask at the brothel if it belongs to a prostitute.
We should continue searching. Perhaps we missed something.
Kevin says, so the Sith don't necessarily have a moral imperative to follow the will of that which isn't posited as having a mind. But if it is a will merely by analogy, right, if there isn't a mind involved, and the will is, again, only analogical, it's not literal, if that is the case, then what that means is that the, quote, will of the Force is simply a description of the nature of reality, the fundamental nature of reality. And if that is the case, then they do have a moral imperative to follow it, assuming that there are moral imperatives at all. Okay. Yeah, it's Petrus's quest. But yeah, it is, if there isn't a mind per se behind the Force or to the Force, then there has to be then all the will of the Force just means is the nature of reality and living in accordance with and acting in accordance with and following that which one ought to do, which is basically just to say the natural law. the natural law is carried out through this mystical interconnection, if you will. Yeah, we did that. We need to talk to the Hoovers. Did we screw it up, really? Ah, God. We missed something, didn't we? No, wait. No. We missed something, didn't we? Darn it. Okay. Eric, it says, oh, are we talking about Dovev's thesis that got him kicked out of the Jedi? Yes, precisely. Dovev being her old old Jedi character in Star Wars: The Old Republic, who was basically a monotheist because it's the correct conclusion of basically natural theology. That the Force is, if anything, the voice of God, not something to be worshipped. It is, if it is something to be followed at all, it is to be followed because it is created by or emanates from something beyond it. Devin says, "Oh man, I don't think there was a definite there are definite moral laws in Star Wars. I think effectively it's a doomed universe where relativism is the rule, might literally is the only effective rule. That's metaphysically impossible. So I don't see. That's the thing. Like I get kicked. My immersion gets immediately shattered once the world posits something which is metaphysically impossible. So something that is atheistic or non-monotheistic, let's say. Polytheism is fine. Pantheism is fine. All of that. So long as there is a that than which nothing greater can be thought below that. As long as God exists in whatever fiction there is, in some sense or another. And if that's the case, then I can immerse myself in it because it's metaphysically possible. But if that is the case, and if it is purely that there are no moral imperatives in Star Wars because there is no God or anything analogous to God, anything like that, okay, I've lost interest entirely. Because not only is it different from our world, it is metaphysically impossible. Not just that it's counterfactual, it is an impossibility and a nonsensical one at that. Yeah. Even things that take place in the future with no Catholic Church, I take to be a metaphysical impossibility, an obvious metaphysical impossibility, because Christ declared, "The gates of hell shall not overcome this church." And suppose this is never made clear, thankfully, and so it's not a problem per se. But suppose in Star Trek, there is no Catholic Church. Okay? It's completely lost any believability for me. Because that's a metaphysical impossibility. And I completely lose interest in a setting if it's metaphysically impossible. Alright, this account lists many loans made from a moneylender called the Magpie. For every expense, there's a corresponding money input, which completely cancels it. The sums are astronomical. However, there is no mention of where this money comes from. There are also many recurring payments from a certain candy cane.
This document is highly important. By reading it carefully, you could learn a lot. The Mother Cardinal apparently borrows large amounts of money from a moneylender. Actually, enormous sums.
What's more, she does so quite regularly. How does she manage to give it all back?
And the name Candy Cane crops up several times. Quite suspicious, don't you think?
This sweet person must be doing her huge favors to get these sums. I think we have everything we need. There is probably a connection between these pleasure parties and the account books. Let's ask a few questions.
The moneylender is well established. He can be found near the main square. As for this Candy Cane, the name doesn't ring any bells to me, but the moneylender must know more about him.
We can also go and gather information at the Coin Tavern. Perhaps the manager knows him.
Okay. Yevon says they think we project our morality onto it, but taken as it is, I don't think it's based in moral objectivity. Maybe that's part of Lucas's intention, that we imbue the story with our projections. Maybe. I tend to think that a charitable reading of even a work of fiction is to interpret it in a way that makes logical sense. And that does include, pretty necessarily, that does include, positing a god if that is necessary, which I think it is. Okay. But though, I mean, in terms of authorial intent, I think you're right. I think that idea, right, allowing the reader, in this case the watcher, to project their own moral and metaphysical frameworks onto things, I do think that aligns very well with the sort of Joseph Campbell monomyth ideas that he was working with. Oops. There's no way up here? Okay, fine. Ooh, the camera just did something weird. And that's also, I think, why the Force is so nebulous and I don't want to say ill-defined, because that's not quite right. It's not ill-defined. It's defined very broadly and applicably to all sorts of different ways of understanding. There's all sorts of different ways of understanding the Force. And since all of them can work more or less quite well, I think that was part of his intention, that you can sort of fill in the details yourself if you want. Kevin says, see, that's my problem with the Force. It isn't posited as a god, even by its practitioners. It's open. Right, but there's a possibility of a god behind the Force. And I think that is the key. And Eric, if you want to expand further on this, on Dovev's ideas here, feel free. I don't want to put words in your mouth or the mouth of your character in this case, but just like any world, I think you have to posit a god in addition to or behind anything that is, anything that exists in the world.
Can I get you anything?
I'm here for something else. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
If you wish. What would you like to know?
Oh, other news, related. This is just an aside, so feel free to not address this, and we can continue the discussion, because it's interesting, I think. I ordered a new microphone and new controller, which should, if Amazon cooperates, they should both be here in time for Thursday's stream. So, starting Dragon Age Inquisition, we should be starting with a controller. I'm still leaning towards mage at this point, if I'm to be perfectly honest. I really like mages. Although rogue's an option, still on the table. And I should have a new microphone if I can figure out a way to set it up on my desk, because my desk is very old. It's like from the 70s or so. It isn't that modern style desk with the edges that come out. It is a rounded edged desk, and the microphone has a clamp, so I may have to put it like here next to me along the front or something like that, and have the boom arm go around or something. We'll see. I'll play with it and I'll see what I can do with it. But I'm gonna have to give it some tries. But it should do a nice audio quality increase, that sort of thing. So that should be very, very good. Erica says, Dovev's a Thomist. You can explain that better than I can. Yeah, basically. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, basically, if the Force has a will, then it either is a mind, or it is created by something, or emanates from something that is a mind. And therefore, there is a mind which is fundamental to the nature of the cosmos, and it is that than which nothing greater can be thought, and therefore we should worship it. That's the short version. Of the Star Wars, I guess you'd call it a teleological argument. if we count Aquinas's argument from governance as a teleological argument, that is one. There you go. Kevin says, that brings me full circle to the Sith. They propose that the universe has an objective natural order reflected in those who are strong and capable of being guides and leaders of the weak. They don't see themselves as guides and leaders, though. Not... To see yourself as a guide or a leader, you have to have this idea of power through weakness. Right? Of a leader being a servant, which the Sith very clearly do not have. They're very clearly tyrants, not leaders. Fundamentally, in terms of their I would say their moral psychology, they're very clearly tyrants rather than leaders, even in sort of Platonic terms, right? That they rule for their own sake rather than for the sake of those ruled. Now, they might rule for the sake of those ruled to a degree because they want prosperous subjects. But as subjects, not as persons. And I think that's a huge, huge uncrossable gulf. They couldn't be more different. Okay, let's ask about big clients more generally first, and then we'll go into more specifics.
You sometimes deliver goods to your big clients, isn't that right?
Of course. The rich don't like to get drunk among mere mortals.
And have you ever supplied anyone from the palace?
Yes, that has happened. It suits them.
And who places these orders?
Well, a steward, of course. Don't you know how things work?
A woman?
No.
Dressed in a long green cloak?
No, the steward is more discreet. On the other hand, the person in the big green coat, the steward speaks to her sometimes. They know each other or work together.
What can you tell me about a certain Candy Cane?
Candy Cane? Everyone speaks about him, or has heard of him, but no one really knows him.
And what do they say about him?
Here, nothing. You need to go downstairs for that sort of thing.
To the games room and the brothel?
Yes, that's more the kind of place where they'd talk about him.
That's so sketchy. I have a feeling Candy Cane refers to something of a similar I'm just going to stop right there. Refers to a certain... Never mind.
Do you think that the Mother Cardinal may have ever been here?
I really hope it doesn't,
Are
though.
you drunk or something?
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
He just leaves it there. Are you drunk or something? I gotta go bye. Oh, that was awkward. Love it. All right, yeah, let's check downstairs, I suppose. Doodly-doo.
Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager? To fight?
No.
I imagine that the name Candy Cane rings a bell.
Obviously. Even though I would prefer it wasn't the case. He's a sort of organizer. He captures most of the beasts who fight in the arena.
How is that a problem?
Apparently, he's fixed a few fights. These kind of rumors aren't good for my business.
If that's the case, why don't you stop him?
He has friends, protectors. Without solid evidence, no one will lift a finger. And the only ones who wanted to speak of his cartel have disappeared.
Do you know where I can find him?
He often hangs out around the port at night, but I strongly advise you to stay away from the guy.
I know how to look after myself. Thanks for the information. Has the Mother Cardinal ever come here to place bets?
The Mother Cardinal? And why not Saint Matthias himself while you're at it?
All right.
I must be going.
Next time, then.
I do actually want to fight. Yeah. Let's go fight. I'll let you continue, Kevin, before I read everything. Ah, there we go. All right, Kevin says, okay, yes, but Bane, for example, while admitting he believes the weak are meant to serve the strong, does at least regard the weak as having a legitimate role in existence. The strong would not be in their state without the counterbalance of masses of the weak. Yes, I don't disagree. I think that's So yeah, I think that's correct. However, I'm gonna switch out. No, I'm good. I'm good. He's tanky enough.
Ready to excite the crowd?
Nah, I got you, Kevin. Of course you're buzzed. That's fine. Oh wait, this is the same. This is the same list of challenges. Okay, never mind.
I need to get going.
Never mind.
A pity. Well, come back
Aw.
again soon.
I thought there would be new challenges in a different city, but guess not. Okay, let's get out of here. Oh well, let's try. But anyway, I think that I think that's a more or less accurate assessment. But I think that the Sith, especially in the context of Bane, but in general, Palpatine might be an exception to this, at least partially an exception to this, are very Nietzschean. They do think that yes, the weak exist, but they exist to serve the strong, and that the strong are there to dominate the weak. Right? That it is this kind of feedback loop or feedback mechanism, and that each do have their place, but there is a clear superior and inferior.
A feast for the eyes, ladies and gentlemen, and it's free. Come and see me as
Thanks.
soon as you have made your choice. You won't be disappointed. Of that I can assure you. Come on.
Anyway, speak to Pimp. Why do you have a helmet stuff? I don't like this. Anyway, so yeah, I think, like I said, it's very Nietzschean, and that does make sense if, I mean, to Kevin's point, if you're right, and that if the Star Wars universe is a I guess a nihilistic, anything goes world, where might does in fact make right, then that means that the Sith are right, but that can't be the case. And the reason, of course, that can't be the case is because it's a metaphysical impossibility, and that, you know, to claim that is ultimately to claim nonsense. Now, if it's nonsensical, if the world is nonsensical, if the world building, if the writing is nonsensical, then maybe that's correct. Maybe the Sith are right about things, but I'm not super interested in a story that's nonsense, or in a world that's built on nonsense. Which, to be fair, let's be honest, is part of the problem I have with modern Disney Star Wars. It's a world largely built on nonsense. In a lot of, now I'll note, in a lot of the same bits of nonsense that we're criticizing right here.
So, have you found what you were looking for?
Let's just say that I'm gathering information.
My treasures are worth their price. I promise you that you will get your money's worth. For you, I'm sure we can make a special arrangement.
Father, do you want to explain to this man why we are here?
Of course. We are not here for your services, but to lead an investigation. Several clients of yours have made a complaint. Precious objects disappearing after your employees' visits.
People in very high places are concerned, which explains why
Clever.
we've been
That's
asked to
very
take
clever.
care of it.
This cannot be. Well, listen. Come in, but please be discreet.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Well, that worked out. That was very clever.
Look, a new face. Oh, but wouldn't that be... Hello, Father.
Oh, hello.
We would like to know if you know who this earring belongs to. Is it maybe yours?
Absolutely not. I am careful not to leave my belongings with clients, and I have no desire to answer your questions. That doesn't fall within my services.
Very well. Goodbye.
Hey then.
There are too many of you for me alone, my little lambs.
Sorry, madam, but we're here to ask other favors of you. This question might seem a little surprising, but do you know who this earring might belong to?
Why? It's mine. I lost it when... How did you get hold of it?
Are you sure you want to broach that subject here?
You're right. Come with me. Well, what do you want? Why are you giving me back my earring?
You know where we found it, don't you?
Obviously. I realized as soon as I got back that I'd lost it.
I imagine your pimp does not know that you take part in these parties. He doesn't dabble in this at all?
No, do not say anything to him, I beg you. He's on my case enough as it is.
Then I suggest you answer my questions.
What would you like to know?
Do you know who organizes these parties?
Not really, no. A steward pays me when I go, but I don't see anyone else, apart from the clients.
You can't even give me a single name.
No. The only person who
Andy Kane?
sometimes speaks to this steward is a woman who is always wearing a green coat. She never takes part in the festivities, but the steward rushes over whenever she arrives.
Interesting.
Could you tell us who you saw at the parties?
Rich people, or better. They seemed very rich and important to me, but I don't know them.
Controversy time.
Do you think that an important person from Thélème could have partaken in these soirees?
You're thinking of Mother Cardinal, aren't you? You lot really think we are a bunch of degenerates.
You're hardly a shining example of virtue, my child. Just answer our question.
Sorry, Father, I don't know the Mother Cardinal, but I strongly doubt she dabbles in that.
You don't think you could recognize her, and you don't think you've crossed paths. What a testimony. Admit it, you must know more than you're letting on. It's virtually impossible not to recognize someone while being so close to these influential people, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I was able to recognize someone, once. Even with a mask on, I'm good at recognizing my clients.
Please continue. I'm all ears.
I don't want to implicate anyone, but he is of no real importance. And you've probably never even heard of him. It's the local moneylender.
I know very well who you're referring to, my dear.
But I didn't mention anything to you, huh? This stays between us.
I don't even remember the subject of this conversation anymore.
Kevin says, I'm not interested in a story where there's nonsense either, but I think Star Wars taken without presupposed moral structures is a system that can be projected upon. And I think they're probably right there, right? That it is, it's broad enough and open enough to interpretation that we can project our understanding of reality onto this fictive world, onto the subcreation, that it leaves elements of it open to the reader to help create. Right? It's not simply fully pre-developed, right, by the writers. And I think that is a positive quality of the story. I think that is a good thing. That is actually, it's good, at least in terms of audience engagement. It gets you much more hooked into it. You can participate in it if you can insert yourself and your own understanding of reality into their understanding of reality, rather than meticulous metaphysics. That said, I think if we are going to start projecting our own understandings of reality onto it, then that opens the door to the question of which understanding is the correct one to project, and that simply opens the door to which understanding is correct, and not just correct about the fictional world, but correct in terms of reality, our primary reality, or at least which perspectives are possible, are logically or metaphysically possible. And we can project any logically or metaphysically possible framework of understanding that we like, but we can't project nonsense. Right? We can't project the metaphysically impossible, right, and still have a coherent story, simply because that projection would be itself self-referentially incoherent. And I think that's really why I can't really side with the Sith philosophically, because I think that their view, while it almost could be correct, if only given the information that we have from within the universe, because there is so much room for interpretation. However, we know it can't be correct because it's nonsensical, because it's self-referentially incoherent. Now, I say almost as well because of something I point out in that video I was mentioning, the one about the false devil and force ghosts and things. Because we have interpretation from George Lucas that this is the problem of the Sith, that they are turned in upon themselves. They're self-consuming because they are so self-aggrandizing and selfish, just broadly speaking. Whereas, and this is why you have Jedi Force ghosts, but not Sith Force ghosts. Now you can have dark side echoes and things like that, dark side possession maybe. That's very different from someone's consciousness surviving death, which is what Force ghosts are in the lore. And the Force ghost can only exist if one lets go of oneself completely, gives up one's quest for immortality, one's selfish quest for self-preservation and self-aggrandizement and power, gives all of that away, lets it go, and then you'll receive it. This is the whole training that Yoda undergoes. This is the whole thing that Obi-Wan learns to do from Qui-Gon. That whole thing, all of that is about that method of letting go one's conscious self, as Obi-Wan winds up telling Luke. That whole process is impossible for a Sith, because their entire goal is, ironically, immortality. It is power for oneself, transcending even death. But by trying so desperately to hold on to one's own power and one's own life, you lose it. And that's the delicious irony of the whole thing, which is that's what I might mostly point out in that video. Anyway, I do highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. I'll put a link, as I said, I'll put a link to it in the description. I'll probably throw it in the Discord as well at some point.
This woman in the green coat.
And it's on my
Can you
channel.
tell me about her?
She always hides her face and never joins us. Then she disappears into a little office and locks the door.
I see.
Huh. Okay.
She is quite important then.
Not the revered mother, is it?
Do you know someone who goes by the name of Candy Cane?
Everyone does. He is a powerful person, so his name makes the rounds.
Have you ever spotted him at these pleasure parties?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. I've heard his name before, but that's all.
Thank you for your help.
Be sure not to mention this to anyone. I'd lose my clients if they suspected me of speaking about them, you know.
Kevin says I dig it. I gave the Sith my best effort. You gave it a good try, I will say. It's hard to defend the Sith. Because they are written as wrong. I think that's a key part of why it's so hard to defend the Sith, is because, like I said, they're written as not just antagonists but villains. Get off the table, buddy. Let's see.
Can I get you anything? Look who it is. I feel that once again you're not here to support my business.
I'm looking for a woman who comes here. She always wears a long green coat.
Yes, I have seen this coat before, but I have no idea who is beneath it, if that's what you're asking. All I know is that I've seen her speaking to a regular, a steward of the palace who comes to place big orders. Always prime choice.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
Hey. Alright, so we gotta question the bookmaker. Once we find him. Wait, what? What did we miss? Magpie. Bookmaker and the moneylender. Let's see. Oh, the bookmaker's in here. Alright. The moneylender's back that way. Oh, let's go around to the other door, I think.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
All these brews up, they aren't worth chocolates.
Okay. And there are always people attacking me at night. This seems foolish of them. You'd think people would know better. Oh well.
Greetings. Quartermaster Herbert. I'm in charge of these barracks. And you are?
Desade, legate of the congregation.
Nice to meet you, Your Excellency. And what can I do for you?
Nope. Okay, nothing here. Oh, the question mark and assumed.
That will be all, Quartermaster. Thank you.
Okay, never mind. Yes, I do have to go to the back to the tavern. And or downstairs. This down. Ooh. Oh, nope. Okay. Do. Where's the bookie? Oh, this guy. Oh, this guy. Why didn't I talk to him? I thought I talked to him already.
Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager?
I'm looking for someone. A woman wearing a big green coat.
Yeah, I know who you mean. She's a good client. She comes in, especially for the big fights, and she has prime information.
Do you know where I can find her?
No, I don't even know her name.
She wouldn't happen to be coming back to collect some winnings, would she?
No, and I can't really tell you when she'll show up next.
Okay, fine.
I must be going.
Next time, then.
That wasn't helpful. Okay. How do I get over to the moneylender? Way. All right.
Can I help you?
Yes, actually. I have a small favor to ask.
You don't look like you need money from me.
I'll get straight to the point. I have bad news for you. I know about the decadent parties at the palace. I know that you take part in them.
What? But what are you talking about?
Stop acting all innocent. I have all the evidence I need to incriminate you. Although your reputation isn't spotless, there are others who have a lot more at stake than you. What if I were to spread it around town that you boast about being there?
Ooh.
You know what happens when tongues wag too much.
That's enough. All right, I get the message. What do you want?
It's particularly nasty. Evan says, I've always been more fascinated by the Sith, but if I'm being honest, I really feel a big internal connection with the Clone Wars Obi-Wan. He has that duty to the ideals of society and his principles. Yeah, I think so. And he's not naive about it. He's hopeful about his society, but he's not foolish. He knows and he acknowledges the faults and the flaws and the problems with the Republic, but he wants them to be better. And he looks to and he defends the good there is in the society. He upholds it. He is the conservative. Very much a conservative, temperamentally and politically, to a degree at least. Religiously, even if we're talking about the Jedi, he's very much the conservative. He wants to preserve what is good, and either purge or get rid of, or even just work around what is not. And I can absolutely see why you like him so much, and I really do too. I really, really do too. He's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. Yeah, he's absolutely phenomenal. And the Clone Wars really added so much depth to not only his character, but really all of the characters we see there, to an incredible degree.
Tell me about Candy Cane.
We're not close, if that's what you want to know. I just know his name, like everyone else. I mean, there are some rumours. They say he does his business in the basement of the Coin Tavern.
What kind of
Just
business?
there.
Oh, nothing to do with my line of business. He deals in arena fights, which would be on me.
It would appear that you know the Mother
Okay,
Cardinal very
yeah.
well. I know that she borrowed money from you. I even know how much. What I want to know is why.
I have no idea. Do you really think that my clients tell me everything about their lives?
Does she still owe you money?
No, she always pays me back on time, and with interest.
Do you think she's plundering the city funds?
Ha! If that were the case, the funds would have been depleted long ago. Nah, the money's coming from elsewhere.
I would advise you to keep all of this to yourself.
I don't want any trouble. I will be as silent as a stone.
So, how do you see things, my child?
I think that the usurer is lending money to the Cardinal, and very significant sum. With this money, she bets on the arena fights while hiding in a big green coat. And she also gives large amounts to a certain Candy Cane, known for fixing fights.
Not only does our dear Cornelia love betting games, but she also wouldn't think twice about cheating to win.
Maybe he's just giving her advice. How can we prove anything?
We can always try asking him. Who knows? Perhaps he will give us an answer.
Okay, so I'm guessing we have to go back to the, we probably have to go back to the Coin Tavern to find the Candy Cane. Which, holy crap, has there ever been a sketchier name or title than Candy Cane? Oh. Crap. That way? Maybe?
We'll make you dance, land dwellers. Bit of poison on my blade, and let's go!
Why are there knots attacking us with Vasco here? That seems... Ooh, an arquebus. Jesus. Who can use rifles? Who can use rifles? I assume my next companion will be able to use rifles. Okay. Alright, I'm headed the right way. It's right around here. What? Go around here or something. So what are my thoughts on the new on the evil aliens from Futurama? Oh no. Oh, you mean the new and improved Koof. Don't care. I really don't care. It's comical how little I care. It's an excuse. It's yet another pointless excuse to further tyrannize people and ruin countless more lives the world over, and for villains to be villains, and you know, for Anthony Fauci to self-aggrandize himself all the further, and to deserve to be under a prison, as Eric July would say. Absolutely correctly, by the way. Oh, and I do think it is hilarious that they skipped G, the Z, the Greek letter, because it sounds too much like a certain commie bastard, whose fault all of this partially is. Deliciously ironic. Oh yeah, Kevin also doesn't care except for the meme generation. Yeah, there's a lot of good G memes, certainly. And the Omicron Persei 8. Hence the Futurama joke. Stuff like that. Is that Candy Cane?
Good evening. Are you the one they call Candy Cane?
Look like much of a candy cane.
Desade, legate of the merchant congregation.
A legate, no less. I imagine in these cases, the one accompanying you is the famous Petrus.
You seem to be very well informed. Therefore, you might be able to answer my question. What do you know about a woman in a green coat?
Why would I tell you?
We know that you have business with this woman, and that she is actually the Mother Cardinal.
How did you... You would be better off forgetting that.
That's not exactly the response I'd imagined. But nevertheless, seems rather eloquent.
I told you to forget about it, or you'll soon run into trouble. Legate or no legate.
Come on, it was just an innocent little conversation. Goodbye, Mr. K.
Bye. And Godspeed.
We have enough information.
Really? Is the fact that she bets on fights that are potentially fixed enough for you?
It's already a huge scandal. Let me just think about it for a little while. I will find a way of putting this information to good use.
I have faith in you, Father.
Alright then. Fair enough. Let's do that. Yeah. First, I think we'll switch out... Oops. Okay. First, I think I want to switch out for Siora. I do want to keep Petrus, though, here for this. Kevin says, I'd like to say I'm past the hatred of it all and going to stoic acceptance, but I'm not perfect, and occasionally indulge in the sweet nectar of disdain. That's fair, I suppose. I mean, as far as acceptance goes, I've fully accepted the fact that everyone involved in the whole, in basically all COVID policy, all of that side of the COVID policy, are some of the worst human beings on the planet. So there's that. Yeah, let's bring Siora instead of Vasco. Let's go. Okay, it's good for now. I got some cool stuff in here, apparently. Flambridge, damn. Can Vasco use that? Ooh, he can. Absolutely. Okay. Iron robe. Wow, that's pretty nice. I like the look of it. Collar doublet. Yeah. Oh, requires more willpower. Darn. Alright, that's all. That's all then. Okay. Anyway. Like I said though, I have accepted at least the fact that these are all of these people are some of the worst people on the planet. The worst people of the earth. Yes. We'll go there eventually. Father Justinius. He's out of the city? I thought he was in the city. But also, there are exceptions to that, because there are some people around who are surprisingly good folks and have been just goddamn heroes on this subject. Our governor, for example, Ron DeSantis, has revealed himself to be actually good. Perhaps the only government official that I actually can see myself unironically and enthusiastically supporting. And not just tolerating, but actually supporting. That's really something. That there is a governor that I not only don't hate, but actually like. That's a first. Really. Alright, what's back here? Supposedly something back here. There's a guy.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Rid of these money bags.
Nice. Okay. All right. Kevin says, I saw where there was a judge in Missouri that put a stay on the healthcare vax mandate. I'm desperate for it to matter. Yeah, and I will say that I'm a little disappointed that all the talk of basically kicking OSHA out of the state of Florida didn't happen. That could have been better than it was. But DeSantis did sign a bill basically prohibits employers from requiring the vaccine or firing employees who refuse to submit to it. So basically just nullified the federal edict from the ground up, which is nice. Which is very, very nice. Now let's travel. Oh. Where is he? What's this? Are there ruins over here? Oh, what's going on here? Okay, I'm gonna leave, because I'm probably not allowed in here. But yeah, I absolutely love DeSantis as well, and that has actually, that has led to, for example, Disney World has pulled back on their vaccine mandate for employees. Which is fantastic. There was some talk about a vaccine mandate at my own employer, my own university, that has since the events of Florida's nullification of the federal edict. I'm not going to say law because it's not. It's an edict. Since Florida nullified that, it has been quietly. It has been just quietly not talked about at all. Kevin says, my governor could not be more similar to Jabba the Hutt. You're in Illinois? I forget, who's the governor of Illinois? Is it Lori Lightfoot or is she the mayor of Chicago? I know she's awful, but I don't remember which layer of awful in the governmental parfait. Okay. Where is Father Justinius? Okay, yes, in Illinois, and it's J.B. Pritzker. Wow, that's odd that I have not heard of him. He must not be, like... I'm assuming he's not the worst of the worst, but he's just typical Illinois. Which is bad, I know. I mean, typical Illinois is god-awful, but... Yes. Typical Illinois is terrible, absolutely, I'm sure, but... But he's not one of, you know, one of those absolute worst of the worst. All right, let me sell off all my junk. Kevin says Chicago is a canker on an otherwise beautiful state. Yeah, basically, and yeah, Lightfoot is the mayor of Chicago. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, basically that's the whole, like, the biggest problem I see with Chicago is that it basically just is Illinois, politically speaking. It is so unbelievably influential on the state of Illinois that it might as well just be the state. From a political perspective, it's just like the sort of coastal cities of California, and how they are basically just they're basically just the state for political purposes. It's kind of awful, really. Battle ring. It's not bad. Not great though. That's very good. Like that. Okay. Yeah, I'll get that. All right. I don't know why he didn't have that already. All right, cool. That'll work. Let's go. Tear Dob. The Black Lands. Okay, I haven't been here yet. Wowzers! There's a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, let's go. Onward.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Okay. Hey, there's a camp. Nice. There's a contracts board. I should have missed it. I'm never going to do any of these, I'm sure. Unless I do them by accident. But where is it? Up here? Ah, there it is. I see it. I see it.
What an astounding place.
Very aggressive Yorglins built a nest north of Eden. Okay. Be cautious if you need to follow the road to the northeast or go into the bushes. A reward will be offered to whoever destroys these nests. We can supply you with traps. I'm assuming I'm going to be using magic. You know, my ordinary blasts of magic will probably be sufficient against these things, but we'll see.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sun. How could their chief accept?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
I appealed to the better nature of travelers in the Vedvilvi road. Vedvilvi, okay. My brother decided to explore it and never returned. If any of you find his body, please dig a grave for him so that he may rest in peace. He may still have his coin purse on him. I'd be happy to leave it to you as a reward. Okay. Oh, they still treat me like a foreigner. That's okay. Chief's house.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello, Desarde. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onolmenawi among the Logaed Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
Nothing really, I guess.
Like so many others.
Guess I'm just stopping by to say hello and rifle through your belongings. Okay. Oh yeah, so try to continue convincing me, between Rogue and Mage. Both of you. Erica, you too. Someone convince me. Because I am still, for Inquisition that is, for Thursday, I am still leaning very, very heavily towards, I've more and more been leaning more heavily towards Mage. Ever since I went back to just sort of play the introduction to see if I could handle a Rogue on a mouse and keyboard. I can, by the way, it's not so bad. I apparently just sucked at it when I tried it last time. But it's not so bad. I could do it. But I also realized that I missed a lot of the mage stuff. And that sneaking is not terribly useful. It's certainly not useful outside of combat in Inquisition, something I've realized. It's decently useful in combat, but not as useful as, you know, magic. And so that I don't know. It seems like that would be a good trade-off. Still be the mage. Anyway, I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking about playing a mage still. Rogue is my other main alternative just because of party comp. I would really like to play a Rogue. That said, I could still go Warrior, Warrior, Rogue if I played a mage. I could have Blackwall, I could have Cassandra, and then I could have Varric. At least that would be kind of my default group, unless I'm doing something specific.
I am busy. If you have questions, go see Sister Eugenia. She's our supervisor.
Okay, though. No, not in here.
I'm sorry. I don't have time to talk.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. The other thing I should mention, and I'll be sure to spread the word on this, and I will too. I highly recommend joining into the stream on Thursday, right off the bat, because if you haven't played or seen Dragon Age Inquisition before, it starts off with a hell of an opening sequence that you don't want to miss. There's my pitch to actually join me at 9. My time. I don't know about yours.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you.
Okay.
Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarded.
But okay.
You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
Because you are so certain of it,
Goodbye.
I'm almost as certain that they're not. But we'll see.
Blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence.
Evan says, I defer to those in the know, but on principle I go with what my gut tells me, even if there's a practical deficiency. Yeah, and I posted this question in one of my Dragon Age Facebook groups. And somebody made a really good point about mage just being really fun. And especially if it's what I've always done and I'm really used to it, why not go for it, especially for a game on stream, so I'm not also desperately trying to figure out how the hell Rogue works while I'm trying to also talk to you guys. There is that. I can kind of play Rogue. I can kind of play mage on instinct, especially if I'm on normal. I don't think I'm going to do casual because the combat in Inquisition's actually not that difficult. Unless it is. There are a couple of cases where it is. But usually it's not that difficult. So I can do normal. Not a problem for that. He wants to talk about something else, huh?
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
Tell me about how you created
There's a lot of stuff to talk about here.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
Why share this
I like it
village
so
with the
far.
natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here, and manage to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teaching.
I dig this so far. I don't see the villainy here.
How well do you get along with the natives?
He's a little condescending, but whatever.
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left?
No.
To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
That's a little okay. I'm starting to get uncaring vibes here, so maybe that's not so great.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But, in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet...
I mean, I can't argue with that.
Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
Yeah, alright. Let's talk to this, Patrice. I guess this guy. He has an exclamation point.
I'm busy.
Nope, just
if
kidding.
you have questions, go see Sister
Eugenia,
Hello.
sorry. Why was I thinking
The Mother
Patrice?
Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to...
Okay.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writing, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Did you? I mean, I wouldn't blame you. Go all St. Boniface on it, but, I mean, either that or integrate, integrate native ritual practices into a faith, that kind of thing. That's fine too. Well, you know.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
It might be Burr, or the chief.
Alas, I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us, or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later, but first we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
By the way, this game has still got me really wanting to play New World the Amazon MMO. That's basically this. Basically just this setting.
I imagine someone was keeping
Different lore,
watch
I
over
guess, but same
Of course, we
aesthetics.
took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
All right.
Thank you. I will let you work.
Okay, so let's see. The Virgil was on watch.
Desade. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Maybe another point of entry, perhaps. That's my thought.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Okay.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Someone
Since
might
none
think
of us did
differently.
it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here, and the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden.
Oh, and why were they attached to them?
Inhabitants
That's
of the
interesting.
village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter anyway? There were witnesses.
All right, thanks
to
for
the
stopping by,
discovery
Kevin.
of these tablets.
See you next time.
We have all the proof we need.
Good night.
And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things.
I mean, hey, you've got it. You've got what you need. Be done. Makes sense to me.
Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
You talked about a mission with the natives. What did you mean by that?
I may be under the command of Sister Eugenia here, but my superior is Bishop Domitius. Our mission is to banish pagan cults and convert the entire population to the light. The island belongs to Saint Matthias, and therefore to Ptolemy, since the god of light offered it to our founder.
If your superior's Domitius, you are a member of the Ordo Luminis. I did not expect to find one of its members
here.
side by side with the missionaries. They usually do not get along.
The Order goes everywhere the light needs to be revealed.
You have a very unique way of seeing things. I doubt everyone accepts. How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. I will leave you to
You
your
done?
work. Goodbye.
So, is this where the... No, this wasn't the shack. It was somewhere else. Okay. Oh, here we go. This one. Now I should add... So, something I've been also pondering and thinking about. There's been, a few new shows and things coming out lately. And more to come. It's kind of the season for that, apparently. And I've actually been kind of keeping up with some of them, uncharacteristically for
There
me.
is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
Huh.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened. But someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles.
I bet it was
and
him.
enough about the researchers to inform them.
All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, I've recently watched first couple episodes of Hawkeye, which not great. As well as the current first 4 episodes of The Wheel of Time, which is much better. I actually really like so far. Hawkeye, I like Hawkeye. I like Clint Barton. Really do. He's always been one of my favorites of the Avengers, especially in the MCU. I like a lot of what they're doing with him as a character in this one and in general. That said, oh my god, I cannot stand Kate Bishop. She is insufferable as a protagonist. Absolutely insufferable. She's a rich, spoiled, entitled college student who thinks her shit doesn't stink, and is constantly messing up horribly, but is still an insurmountable badass, apparently. Like fights several people with guns and comes out unscathed, kind of thing. Well, not unscathed. She gets a scratch on her head. God. Anyway, she's insufferable. Now, the obvious villain, her new to-be stepdad, I actually really like. You're not supposed to like him. He's supposed to be the very, very sketchy, shady guy. He even has a big weird mustache and like a strange accent and all that. And he's the stepdad, so he's encroaching on her territory with her mom. After apparently her dad died in the Battle of New York in 2012 and in the Avengers, that sort of thing. So, sorry, spoilers? It's in the first 5 minutes of the first episode, so it's not that much of a spoiler. In any case, he reminds me a lot of Petrus, actually, who is supposed to be really, really sketchy, but really just comes off as hiding something for damn sure, but also kind and fatherly. I can't help but like the guy. I actually might keep watching the show, if only for who is almost certainly the villain. And also Hawkeye, who is the titular character, but definitely not the main character. Because the main character is, as I said, absolutely insufferable. Being Kate Bishop.
You have returned on Almanawi. Do you need something else?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Know what's weird about their accent? They apparently don't have the diphthong I, the sound I, the phoneme, the AI phoneme. I don't think there's a reason for that because they have the ah sound and they have the e sound, so they should be able to put together as I. Their vocal structure should do that, but it doesn't seem to. This is especially weird because there seems to be a native word with that phoneme in it, renaigsa, which has I, not oi, but I. It'd be more interesting if they simply didn't have the phoneme ah, or something like that. They didn't have a long A. Short A. Short A? No, long A. Ah. Because I is part A-E. It's I. It's a diphthong. And if they didn't have part of it, and they only had O instead of ah, then oi would be the closest thing they would have to I, which is really cool. That would be really, really neat. It would be an extra little thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the accent. It's really cool. I love the consistency of it, especially. But that, I think, is one particular little weirdness of it that should be that should have been thought through a little bit more. Anyway.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Thélème and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
So they do kind of... So it seems like one of those cases where the converts are becoming syncretists more than they are truly converting. They're syncretizing their own native beliefs with the incoming novel beliefs, which again, as far as I can tell, appear to be monotheistic, which is neat. And it has a lot of historical precedent. Unlike a lot of, like I've said this before, unlike a lot of the religion-related stuff, that does have some precedent in real-world history. Especially in Latin America. Latin America in particular. There's a lot of syncretism that eventually sort of died out, but still you see somewhat in some little weird offshoot cultic behavior. Cultic practices, I should say.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace,
Soul Lasser,
and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstierent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men. Perhaps wiser than they are.
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village
I
seek
don't.
vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
I mean, maybe.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
Okay, I'm more on board with him.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
You're probably right. The Inquisitors would come back, and my people would suffer. I do not want to break the peace that I did all I could to make. I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
Had they been wiser and accepted their new neighbors, they'd never have been forced to leave.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
Conflict there. I really like the idea of sort of living side by side and sharing, and even of syncretizing beliefs to a degree, because that is, I think, a step towards proper conversion. In a lot of cases, at least. Or it can be. It should be.
Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bertir Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
The only means of alleviating the situation with Thélème is to give the priests their tablets back. So, if you don't want your son to suffer their wrath, it would be best if I could retrieve them discreetly.
Bran and the rest of the exiles are hiding in the woods, beyond the stone circle. If you want to take the tablets away from them without being seen, do not take the path on the left. It is riddled with traps. And please, do not hurt my son.
Okay, then. That's really good advice. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, that's far. All right, let's go. Let's go. Go. Gotta take the path on the right, I suppose. That is this way. Wait, which left, though? Maybe it is this way. I'm gonna save, because I don't actually know where I'm going. Alright, let's go. Oh, this doesn't look right. This doesn't seem right.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Ow.
May the shadow engulf our enemy.
Oof. Okay. That was a big old monster. All right. Ooh. 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 Hey. Hello. Embroidered Marquise doublet. Marquis? Oh, that's so much better. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be upgrading to that very, very soon. I'm gonna have to upgrade it, like to add the stuff to it, do some crafting stuff. I'll either do that a little later or off stream, but that's gonna be fantastic. I am most pleased. Don't take the left, take the right. Wait, which one though? Like, I assume that doesn't mean that way. I assume that means there's gonna be a fork in the road up here? Or what? Oh, up the... Okay, hold on. I'm lost. I'm gonna save again. Just in case.
Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try not to fight.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
Remember that we were told the area on the left was a trap. It would be smarter to take the other path.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. There's no one here. This is so sketchy.
There, we found them. Now all that's left to do is to return to Eden.
Oh crap. Everyone run. Everyone run. No! Damn it. Alright. I'm an idiot. Let's try this again. My bad. It's close. Okay.
Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try.
So they're right in the middle. They're down the middle. So we need to sneak around there.
Do it! What are you doing here?
I'm not here to fight.
What? How do you know
Wait,
we
what?
have them? And how? Not for a day. We will not give them back. We lost our homes and families, so the priests lose their sacred stones.
I know that you are seeking vengeance, but the priests will not be the only ones to suffer the consequences of your actions. Your mother helped you. And once they find out about it, she will pay the price in your place. Is that what you want?
No. She only told us which night we could come. They have no right to punish her for this.
I doubt the Ordo Luminous will care. They will need someone to take the blame, and she's the obvious choice.
Very well.
Oh.
Take the stones and leave.
Well, could have done
All
that.
that's left to do is to rejoin the Donea Extragao.
Well, I could have just done that. I should have just done that. Alright, whatever. That works. Let's still not go the trapped way. Alright then. Well, that was an accidental success.
What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son.
Oh.
I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
Don't worry, all is well. I managed to convince him to give me the tablets.
Adlor Edar, I did not believe my son to be so reasonable. You are giving me hope. I will go see him and tell him to find another clan. A place to welcome him.
Okay, nice. And I gained native reputation from that too. Even better. Very good. Very, very good. Well, there's a camp area right there, so might as well do that, and then I'll travel. Shantai. Or not, honestly. Honestly, don't really need to quick travel. It's, like, right there. It's right there. Yeah, let's just go back. Anyway, so the other series I've been watching is Wheel of Time, which has been quite good so far. I have never read the books, so I'm not overly familiar with the world, with the story, with the characters, any of that. I know a little bit about it, mostly from what other people what I've seen from elsewhere, like third-party stuff, from heard secondhand about the story. And it seems to be relatively faithful with some adaptations, some of which make big differences, but nothing disastrous. And it seems to be pretty good so far. Now, I'm probably going to have a lot more to say about it when we're playing Dragon Age, because I am realizing now that Dragon Age has taken a lot of inspiration from the Wheel of Time.
Thanks to them, we will be able
I'll talk
to
about
continue
that
our
more
research
there.
on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Huzzah.
Your indulgence honors you, but how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not...
A good start would be to keep a better watch on the priceless treasures that you find.
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything.
We'll do that, though.
We may
Jeez.
have been a bit clumsy in the beginning. We'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Welcome back, Kevin.
I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here,
Okay.
take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
I get experience from that? I did. Yay! Level! Alright, let's go handle that. I got a skill point. Yeah, group healing. Heck yeah. Alright. I don't have any attribute points. Probably go willpower next. No. Go mental power. Intelligence. No. Nothing. 19. What level am I? I'm level 18. Okay, level 9. Yeah, next level. Okay, cool. Alrighty then. Where to now? Alright, not that. Missions. Quests. Erica, which one was I supposed to do? Which quest? Which main story quest will get me the companion? Was it the Scholars one? I think. Oh, you don't know. There's one, the one more companion. So we have one more companion to get. Would I find that companion in the Scholars? This is the Bridge Alliance one, the Ptolemy one, or this one? Because I want to see if I can actually get that last companion tonight. In our last half hour or so. One that was searching for plants or something. Oh, okay, yeah, that's this one. Yeah, that's this one. Scholars. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. The plants one. Okie dokie. Let's do that then. Let's do that first. Get a new friend. Where's our quick travel? Oh, let's... There. That way. Oh, I won't tonight? Oh, well, okay. Well, let's at least get it started, shall we? It's kind of long quest, and I doubt you'll do it in 30 minutes. Oh, no. Also, it's way over there. Well, in that case... Let's go back to New Serena. We haven't actually been home. There was no other side quest, actually. Hold on. Let me see. Side quests, just the exploration ones, and wait, progress the main quest. Otherwise, it was just missions. This one, the Ancient Secret, the Old Mine, was the other main quest. The Ancient Secret one. Which, that's the one I was thinking of doing. I doubt I'll do it in 25 minutes, though. 20 minutes, really. Oh, Kevin says, I've begun to play A Plague Tale: Innocence at the request of my baby sister. It's fun so far. Yeah, that one does look really neat. One does look neat. This is the cult one. And then that is the Ancient Ruins one. Wait for the Ancient Secret? Okay, okay. I'll go ahead and I'll start this. Now, I'll waste some time at New Serene first. It's a huge lore drop. Alright, I'll do that next time then. I'll waste a little time at New Serene, and then I will start the that next one now. Do do doodly doo do 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 do. Oh, that's right. I need to go to a craftsman to have it crafted. But in the meantime, I'll just sell some crap, like this, that, this. That. actually wear those. Put on those boots. Okay. Yeah, so I'll go get Afra next. But first, I also want to equip Vasco with Light Flamberge. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to that blacksmith who can do some crafting for us. Where was that? Over right there. And then we will start towards our quest to get Afra. Alright.
It's a great pleasure.
Crafting. I need you to help with this thing. Strap. Needed for priests. Yeah, that. Nice. Alright. I'm assuming balance is more needed for mages than armor. I don't have enough pure iron. That's fine. All right. And the shoulders. So 6. Yeah, that'll do. That looks nice.
The best forge in Tier 3D. Blades, armor, locks.
Very nice.
Custom pieces made to order.
All right. Now, actually, hold on.
Oh, it's a great pleasure to see you.
Because I have boots that I need done. While I'm at it, Marquis boots, greaves. Nice. Yeah. There.
The best forge in Tier 3D.
Okay, now let's go. Much better. Any recommendation on who I should bring on this one? I'm thinking Kurt and Ziora. Not for any particularly good reason, just because I like them. What's here? Campsite? No, it's just a iron. Wood. Where am I going? Ooh, a ruby. Very nice.
I need a bit of practice.
Darn. Can't do that yet. All right. I need Siora to like me more. Oh, gosh. All right. Oops. I'm already thinking Inquisition controls with the jump button. First game we've played since Nier with a jump button. Anyway, any recommendations on who we should bring? I'm thinking of leaving Petrus in exchange for Hurt. Look good? For the Afra quest? Probably good, right? Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll be fine. Okay. Go.
The valley is vast. We should get to a vantage point if we want to find this expedition.
Alright. Oh, there's a campsite. I'll go to that first. That'll be useful. Sure is, huh? I gotta say, the environments in this game are absolutely beautiful. Seems like I need to go that way. Right? North? Yeah. Or, no, I'm gonna try going this way. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. Hi, Fox. Are you squeaking at me? Just go. We're fine. Hey. Another campsite. Guessing it's up there that I have to go. Nice, nice. Okay. Okay. I hear combat music. What's going on? Or at least danger music. Something spooky. Oh, they're dead. They're not dead. Not dead. False alarm. Okay. They were snoozing. My bad. Alright, this way.
Over there. Tents. This must be the expedition's camp.
A camp here? In the open wind? It was definitely set up by scholars.
Signs of combat. They were attacked.
Yeah, no kidding.
By the look of the tents and the campfire, it dates back several days. It seems they were taken prisoner. I don't see any body.
Oh, that's native magic, all right.
No weapon leaves this sort of marking. Perhaps they were wielding magic.
No.
Yes. It is the art of the Donegada. One of the Valley clans was here.
Would you know which one?
One who fights against the invasion of the peoples from your island. I can be sure of nothing.
Why would they attack scholars? They're not warriors.
They come here as conquerors. This is enough. But they were not killed. Warriors would have been.
Kurt, stop.
This looks like scientific equipment. This must be the Lost Expedition's campsite.
Yeah, I thought we said that already. Okay, alright, fine. Let's keep looking around. What do we find? What else is there to see here? Oh, yeah? What's this? This globular root has a dense and firm texture. The smell that emerges from its strong conviction. Okay, yada yada yada. Afra's decided to move her tent further away. She says her constant cackling prevents her from focusing. The young woman is talented, but I understand why her master dismissed her. She has a bad temper. Species of bird, blah blah blah. Native something. They consider them to be sacred. Oh, okay.
This looks like the journal of a naturalist.
Maybe that's why they're mad.
There are sketches of flora and fauna. There is no doubt. We are definitely on the trail of the Lost Expedition. It seems that one of the team kept a distance from the others. Let's see what we can discover. A trail of blood. That cannot be good. Follow it.
Okay. Oh, that doesn't look good.
Corpse. The clothes cannot be mistaken. It is a scholar of the Bridge Alliance. From the looks of him, I would say he's been dead for days, as we already thought. This isn't the woman whose journal we found. There is still a chance that she remains alive.
This man traded his life for all the suffering of my people.
It was only a scholar, a sage, not a warrior on the battlefield.
Do you think my people see a difference when bridgemen steal our people from their bed? From who do you think all the clans hide their children?
This man was unarmed. And from the position of his body, I would say he was fleeing. It is not honor that motivates them. Maybe it was vengeance.
I'll search the body. We might find something to help us understand.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Bridge Alliance. Obviously. But again, these were unarmed civilians, scientists, researchers, academics. I also have a bit of a soft spot for academics, as you might expect. Being one, being something of a mild-mannered academic myself, I get it.
Here is the isolated camp mentioned in the journal. Everything is in order, but the inhabitants are no longer there. Its position would have allowed them to escape the attack.
Isolated. Discreet. Perfect visibility. Great shot.
Diary of a certain Afra. They have a small camp. Flora in this place is incredibly luxuriant. Okay. Plant with bioluminescence. Shame we can't exchange with the natives. Well, you could if you weren't dicks. Rival in the valley didn't go unnoticed. Feel being watched. Impression of being watched. Increasingly ominous. Certain we're being watched from the swamp. They attack us. This is where they most likely will come from. I've tried to warn my companions to tell them to be more discreet, but they refuse to listen. Okay.
It is a journal.
Swamp.
That of a woman from the expedition, a certain Afra. She speaks of their research and relates here that she felt watched. She feared an attack was brewing. I believe she was right. The writing stops mid-sentence.
A woman with sharp eyes. They might have saved her life.
We must follow the tracks of the attack. They will certainly lead us to our party of intrepid scientists.
This woman was right to fear the Donea Exregao. They must have followed this path coming from the swamp. This is where we should go if we want to find these lion scholars.
Yes, I agree. But what path exactly? Oh god. Which path? There's no path. This is very isolated. Alright, oh, 4. Okay, maybe if we take it out of here. If we keep going north, I guess. I guess. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe if we keep going north, find a way around. Oop. Need that ore.
Look, those are islanders. They might be from the clan that attacked the bridge again.
That's possible. They look like trackers. But what are they tracking?
New prey, no doubt. Let's get closer.
Alright. So I think we're probably going to have to sneak up on these guys. But I also think that we're going to do that next week. Because it is basically midnight. I'm going to save really quick. It is basically midnight, and I do have some prep to do for class tomorrow. Like I said earlier, I am still planning to have class outside this week, and maybe even next week, fingers crossed. And I also am, weather permitting and technology permitting, hoping to record these next few classes on Anselm's Dialogue on the Fall of the Devil, to add to our little series on, well, we've already done, I already have a series recorded on the second of these dialogues, on Freedom of the Will? On Freedom of Choice, sorry. And so this will be sort of a continuation of that discussion that I hope to be able to record outside, which will be a lot of fun. I'll have I'll try and get the sound to be decent. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. If it turns out to be just unusable, I apologize. It'll just be for my classes, and you guys won't want to deal with that. But we'll see. In any case, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope to see you on Thursday for Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm certainly looking forward to starting with you guys. It should be a hell of a lot of fun, and I very, 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 once again, strongly encourage you to be there right at the start, because Dragon Age Inquisition starts with a bang, so to speak. Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you all Thursday. See you next time.